Hey everybody, it's Stefan with Stefan's Lessons. Hope you guys are doing well. Figured we could talk a little bit today about the major scale. It's one of my favorite subjects and it's really important to you as a guitar player and as a musician. You might be asking yourself why. Well, every song, if you've come up listening to Western music, every song that you've ever liked or disliked in your entire life is based on this scale, or at least some slight variation on this scale. So, as you can pretty much assume, it's very important to know as a player. Before we get into the technique and everything like that of just simply playing it, I wanna bring up a little bit about the music theory, the makeup for this scale. It's the reason being is, if you understand the sort of genetic makeup of this thing, you're going to be able to move it anywhere you want on the guitar, no matter if it's C, if it's F sharp, or if it's A. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. The major scale is the major scale. Now, most of you, or some of you, have probably a little bit of music theory background, but for those of you that have none, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The only thing you need to understand today is whole steps and half steps, okay? And I'm going to show you right now what that is. A whole step on the guitar is simply the distance of 2 frets. And a half step is a distance of 1 fret. This occurring on 1 string. And there's a basic makeup of the major scale that never changes. It's always consistent, which is why you're able to move it wherever you want on the guitar. And I want to show you real quick how that unfolds going up 1 string on the guitar. I'm going to start from the 2nd fret because we're going to be coming back there a little bit later in the lesson. So to start off, the major scale. Hooray. The major scale is made up of whole steps and half steps. Here's the order that you put them together to make a major scale no matter where you start. It is, pick a note to start on, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. You don't really need to memorize that right now, but it's something you do want to commit to memory eventually. It just makes your life a whole lot easier. It's also going to be in the accompanying sheet to go along with this lesson, so check that out, and then you don't have to memorize everything that I'm saying right now. One more time, it's whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. That is what makes up a major scale. Me playing it on 1 string, though, really doesn't help you very much as a player. That's really annoying to try to play lines up and down in 1 spot. So what we want to do is be able to play it across the 6 strings of the guitar using all of our fingers, because that's going to be a more efficient way to do it. Here's an example of what you're about to play. Ta-da! Alright, to keep it simple though, for the day, for just today, talking about this major scale, we're going to assume fingers and frets are the same, alright? So if I'm playing the 2nd fret, I'm using my 2nd finger. If I'm playing the 4th fret, I'm using my 4th finger. If I'm playing the 1st fret, you get it, you get it. The scale starts on the low E string, the big fat one, with your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. Please find this note. If it doesn't sound like that, it's because our guitars aren't in tune with each other, and no big deal. Still probably sounds fine. So, anyway, 2nd finger, 2nd fret. Next note, 4th fret. What finger do you use? 4th finger. Hooray. 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 4th finger, 4th fret. Next string, A string, 1st finger, 1st fret, 2nd, 4th, 1st, 3rd, 4th, 1st, 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 4th, 1st, 2nd. Did you memorize that? Probably not. It doesn't matter. I don't want you to memorize it. There's too many notes. I just did that in like 10 seconds. Don't memorize all that. We're going to go back over it here in just a second. I want to make sure that you're building a good technique of practice and a good approach to practice when you're working with your scales or when you're working with anything musical. So when we're learning the major scale, as it would be with learning any tune, I want you to learn it in small chunks. There's no reason to memorize all 15 notes that I just played in a row. That's just too many to start out with. Just grab 3, which is what we're going to do to start. We're going to play the first 3 notes of the scale, which were 2, 4, and 1. All right. So find your bearings, get yourself over there. 2, 4, and 1. We're going to play it. We're going to play it 5 times. Let's say we're going to play it 5 times. And that hasn't been very hard, you know. You didn't have to think about too many things. You have 3 notes to keep track of, no big deal. Plus you're able to focus on what your fingers are doing, how it sounds, all that great stuff.